Hello there, my name is RustyPieLover, ginger streamer, professional high-pitched screamer, podcast host extraordinaire. And we're journeying on to episode 4 of our podcast adventure here in the Pie Oven podcast, as it is now called. And you could tell I have a little bit of a frog in my throat, but nothing's going to stop us from introducing the ever fabulous RushkaGG to the podcast.
Another one. Hi. This is officially the sick podcast. Both of us
for
being
both of us. One
Yeah.
is recovering from COVID and the other one is dying from something else. So,
Yeah.
it's just part and parcel of it.
Just a regular Tuesday. What can you do?
All right. So, by the way, for those listening, this is not Tuesday. This is when day of recording is on a Monday, whenever this is uploaded.
I
On
don't
that
acknowledge
Monday,
Mondays.
on
I
that
refuse to
Monday,
acknowledge
we were
Mondays.
both sick. I think there was a lot of explaining to do for people that know how these recordings work by now.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. I'm going to ask you the first controversial question of the day. What is your favorite pie?
I like Ho Hook pies. I don't know if you've been to Ho Hook before. I believe it's in Grabo. I hope no one fights me about that. I could be wrong, but they make a really good pie. Favorite flavor would you call it a flavor? What's your favorite flavor pie? Like, it's a pepper steak.
Sure, that's fine. Okay, pepper steak. You are well within the realms of godliness, I would say.
I do like a pepper steak.
Everyone loves pepper steak. How do you feel about steak and kidney? It's an off question, no?
Steak and kidney, I'll eat it if it's there, but my first option is always like plain steak or pepper steak.
Okay.
Steak and kidney, I feel like it's the pie you get when they don't have any pepper steak left. That's like the second or third option, It's like, I'd rather have chicken and mushroom.
There we
You kind of
go.
avoid the kidney part, but I don't mind it. I eat everything. So.
I feel like it's I don't want to say universal opinion because I've spoken on stream about this, about like which pie is like the most divisive pie. And for me, it will always be steak and kidney. But I had a shocking amount of people that said, what the hell is wrong with you? What's wrong with steak and kidney? So there's definitely some steak and kidney fans. If you're listening to this, drop some love in the comments for steak and kidney, okay? Let's get those steak and kidney advocates.
I'd like to see in the comments why. I just want to understand why. For me, the steak and kidney argument is kind of like the pineapple on pizza argument. It's like,
so you want to start this one?
it's a very
Okay,
strong-
come on, let's go down it.
I told you I eat everything, so I don't care about pineapple. I'll eat it.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
well-
grew up poor, so for me it's like food is food. You eat what's in your plate. You know what I mean?
This is true. This is true. But,
Yeah.
but I have a counter argument to that one. Okay, so 2 points here. All right. People can't argue about pineapple on pizza because tomato is a fruit and tomato is ever present on pizza. So that's number one. And then number 2, when you grow up poor, yes, you appreciate food. But when you work your tailbone off to eat what you want to eat, then it's a different story.
That is fair. That is valid, and that's fair. I mean, it's not my first choice, pineapple on pizza. I don't go out of my way. But again, if it's put in my plate, I eat it. I'm not gonna pick the pineapple off like an asshole. I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Sometimes sweet and sour works. It gives you that perfect sweet and sour.
Yeah, but I pick the pineapple off, eat it first, and then eat the pizza afterwards.
Oh, okay. I thought you just fuck it off and wait. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Or you just leave it out or something. Like,
Don't worry.
You peep it off and then just say goodbye to it forever. I do not like people that don't eat everything in their plate.
And you
That
must
makes me very
remember,
upset.
I have a wife that likes pineapple. So if I don't eat all the pineapple, I just give it to her.
That's a fair exchange. I do that with olives with my partner.
Oh no,
I don't
we
like olives.
we both don't like
so-
olives. But what's so strange is she has pork rinds that she doesn't eat, and she gives it to me, and I'm like, oh, I have been blessed by by the heavens, as someone who doesn't like pork rind, I get to have all the pork rind.
This is a food podcast
It's
now.
a food podcast now. All right. So now that we've made everyone hungry this fine morning, and I hope they've had breakfast, tell us how you came about RushkaGG. Tell us about that story, about that history of gaming, and then how you got your username, and then all of those things. I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, it's not my first username. I think none of us with our current usernames, I don't think that was ever our first. I'm curious to know what your first username was. I'm sure, Rusty, you didn't, at 4 years of age or 6 years, whatever age you started gaming, you were like, I'm going to call myself RustyPieLover. You've definitely got a story as well. So do I. Let me tell you, my first name when playing Battlefield was Moby's Dick. Before that, I was Cyborg Ninja Pirate Jesus Cat or something that's stupidly long and offensive because, edgelord teen. Um, Rushka Gigi was sort of like there are too many corny names out there and the ones I already like are taken. So I'm just going to use my actual name because Rushka is my actual name. And I was going to do like underscore something. And I was like, you know what, Gigi kind of works. RushkaGG, that's it. It sort of rolls off the tongue. Um, Whereas Rushka underscore Zeta is quite a mouthful. That's it. That's just how I picked my username. I wish I had something special or symbolic or magical or whatever, but all the cool ones were taken already and I couldn't keep the offensive ones anymore.
Well, that Moby's Dick one is going to be the highlight of the podcast. So I hope you know that.
I could probably find a couple of videos on YouTube of other people killing me in Battlefield, and it's like, you killed Moby's Dick, and I just think it's the funniest thing ever. Well, at least
I
to me
mean,
in
you're
my
not wrong.
12-year-old brain.
The juvenile delinquent inside of my brain is laughing his head off right now. So I'm just letting you know that.
How I started about content creation in general, I'd say I probably started gaming at 6 or so. We got those little tally game stations. We were playing Ice Climber. Those 11 in one, 20 in one,
The NES,
100 in
yeah,
one
yeah.
games. Yeah, those were my babies, and I loved it. Ice Climber, Mario, Contra, Double Dragon. Those were the games I'd play with my brother. And then when we got an Xbox, it was Gears of War in Horde mode. That was so fun. And then my love for horror came with Resident Evil 4, I think. That's when I knew, oh, holy crap, horror's my jam. That's my shit. Popping some zombies, that's my shit. I love that. Became a massive fan of Resident Evil. I didn't know a lot about online gaming. Everything I did growing up was LAN. I mean, I probably shouldn't say this, but we had the Xbox that you had the chip in it, so you could you could pirate games and that. Um, I didn't grow up with internet or anything. I only got internet when I started working and that. So I was a bit late to the, I suppose, online world when it comes to gaming and that. And I really wish I knew about it a lot sooner because I think I could have done a lot in my youth. Had I had a Steam account at 16 or something, I always think a lot of young folk are so privileged with the information and resources that they have today. We didn't have it growing up, which is why a lot of us start our content creation journey at such a later point in our life because we're only given access to certain things, once we start making our own money and once we can start doing things for ourselves. Um, I discovered content creation through a blogger called Tavi Gevinson. She was a fashion blogger at the time, and back then, Blogger was the tool that most content creators were using back then. And I didn't know a lot of content creators. This was probably, gosh, early 2000s or something. And I just thought this chick was so amazing. She just made her own little clothes, and she was living in New York. She was 14 years old, taking pictures of her cute little outfits, and then she blew up and she started getting invited to Fashion Week and that. And I got to see this person living the life that they want to live, doing what they love to do, and getting paid for it and getting acknowledged for it. And I was like, holy crap, who wouldn't want that life? Who wouldn't want to do what they're passionate? and what they love, and be able to make an income and pay the bills with that. That's amazing. So I've always wanted to do content creation. This is probably as young as 18. I mean, I'm 32 years old now, and I've definitely always wanted to do it. But obviously, with life and that, you can't just start things. You definitely, like I said, with the access to little resources that you have growing up in a little colored community or whatever, there's a lot of extra stepping stones you need to take, versus someone else who can just wake up and be like, oh, I got internet, oh, I got a phone, I got a computer, I can just do things. So my content creation journey probably only started in my late 20s, although I've always had little blogs here and there. I used to have a blogger account. What was my first blogger account called, actually? I can't even remember. I think it was something like Toshiro Itsugaya, which is the character in Bleach. I was a massive fan of him, and I was a bit of a weeb as well. So I really loved Japanese fashion, and like otaku and the Harajuku girls and that. I loved Harajuku fashion. So I blogged about Harajuku fashion, and with my first paycheck, I think at 18, I ordered these lashes from this Japanese pop star, that I was a massive fan of. I think, what's her name? Milky Bunny. I ordered Milky Bunny lashes, and it was such a big deal to me. And then I did my first review of Milky Bunny lashes. Um, that was, yeah, I'm tapping into like memory lane. Yeah, I don't have that blogger up anymore because I quickly realized that like fashion blogging and that it wasn't actually my thing. Eventually, I got quickly over it. I found it to be too superficial for me, and my passion just wasn't there. But I always knew that I always wanted to be creative and create content. I just didn't know what particular content I wanted to focus on. So I get into the work environment and I'm doing my thing, and that sort of content creation side of me was at a halt for, gosh, probably about 10 years. And then I lost my job, I think about 3 or 4 years ago. All at once, I get kicked out of university, I lose my job. I also had a business at the time. The business went really well, but then things went all horribly wrong at once. All of our equipment and stuff got stolen. Without going into too much detail about it, my life suddenly just was at a standstill out of nowhere. Um, so I just started gaming again, and I got into Fallout 4 so heavily. I think I got like 800 hours in that game. So my partner was obviously the only breadwinner. I was sitting at home all day playing games. I was in like a really dark place in my life. And I was like, I need to do something. I can't just, sit on my ass playing games all day. Obviously I was looking for jobs and trying to get back on my feet again. But it's not as easy as just waking up and applying your CV somewhere and just getting a job. It's really hard trying to get back on your feet. Um, yeah, so I realized I'm playing games. I might as well stream it. And my partner actually suggested it. He was like, you play games every day and you really enjoy it. Why don't you just get back into content creation? But in the gaming side of things, I was like, you know what? That's actually a great idea. And then that's how RushkaGG was born. Because during the time that I wasn't streaming, I was still Moby's dick, playing Fallout and Battlefield 4. And when I opened up a Twitch account, I was like, I need a new name. But this was like 2018 already. Every username on the planet, every possible username was already taken. So I was like, let me just use my name. It's quite a unique name. You're not going to find a lot of it, and slap a GG to it. And that's how RushkaGG was born.
It's such a cool story, and there's so many topics that I want to dive into if you don't mind. But that's really an inspirational one. Touching on that subject, and it is a difficult one. Sorry,
Yeah.
you can hear a chat. I'm about to throw up that frog. You mentioned growing up as a person of color. If I'm saying this correctly, please correct me if I say something incorrect here, because I'm still learning. And you do make a point that even in our local scene, it is difficult for people of color to get the same opportunities as those who are not of color.
Yep.
And how did you get past those types of barriers where you know, it is difficult. I wouldn't know because I'm as pale as milk. And I can't go out in the sun. Otherwise, I don't think anyone will hire someone as ridiculously red as I will be. But jokes aside, how did you get past those particular? They're archaic blocks, in my opinion. We shouldn't be having these type of blocks anymore. We should be long past that, but obviously that is still very prevalent in much of not just the gaming and content creations stream scene, but also in day-to-day activities. How did you get past those kind of barriers, and what do you do when you still come across those barriers?
Oh, this is about to get spicy. I think
Listen. Previously with other guests, I asked controversial stuff. All right, we went down this road. All right, speak your mind, friend.
you know me, you know I'll go down this road
Go down the
happily.
road.
It's
Just
something
don't.
I
Just
have
try
to
not
live.
to name drop.
Oh no, no, no. Of course not. I'll name drop you in like the DMs or whatever, you know, but not on any I think prejudice aside and racism and you know the little cliques that we have in the scene. If I think about the average colored girl, let's say at 16, she does not have a computer. She does not have a mom or dad that's a developer. She probably doesn't have a mom or dad who is a gamer. She's probably not exposed to gaming. She's probably not exposed to content creation. Um, she's more exposed to, you know, working class individuals, someone who's packing in Pick and Pay, or someone who is seen as successful but is studying now accounting. You know, in a colored community, the successful colored is the one that's going to be an accountant or a doctor or a lawyer. Um, gaming, entertainment, content creation in general is still something that I think colored and black communities are still a little bit behind with, obviously, because we're playing catch up because of, you know, apartheid and everything. Um, so there is that obstacle of colored kids can't afford it and they're not exposed to it. And if you can't afford it and you don't know about it and you're not exposed to it, it's not something you're naturally going to get into. Whereas some little rich white kid from Camps Bay whose dad is a developer and every third uncle they have and every neighbor and everyone in the network, you know, has some sort of thing that is useful to them when it comes to whatever journey they're taking. It's so much easier. They get to, instead of climbing seven ladders, they only need to climb two. Versus that kid that is living in a shack that needs to first get a job, first educate their parents, first find the right people that they can, you know, network with and that. So there's so many attributes to how it's so much harder, and it isn't necessarily a skin color. I think it's a like a socio-economic issue, which just so happens to be in South Africa, you know, linked a lot to race. But I think anywhere in the world, it's definitely a class issue. It's definitely someone who typically grows up in a poor to working class family, they will most definitely struggle to start up in content creation than someone who is well off, someone who has the connections, who has the networks, whose mommy and daddy just so happen to, you know, be friends with the owner of Dice or the owner of EA, or you know, there's a lot of things that we don't have. My parents don't know anyone. I'm not going to inherit anything when my parents die. My parents don't. I literally had to start from scratch and network the crap out of everything to get where I am today. And I'm still not where I want to be. It's still incredibly hard. And I've done so much in the scene, but because of prejudice and because of other little things in the works and because of the clicks and such, it's still hard for me to get my foot in the door. I still have a long way to go. But the one thing that I'm proud of and the one obstacle that I managed to overcome was, you know, money and networking. I managed to get my foot in that door. I could buy myself a computer. I can pay for my internet every month, and I finally know a lot of people in the industry. So if I need something, I know who I can ask for help. I know what resources to get from who, and It's such a good feeling to know that I finally have people that are playing the same games as me that I could message right now and be like, hey, do you want to play some Hunt? Hey, do you want to play some horror games? Hey, would you like to eat some cereal with me? Before I didn't have any of that. Yeah, I think you get the gist of what I'm saying.
Now that's inspirational, and that is the truth. Um,
Yeah,
but I can relate. Obviously, not on a prejudice level, but yeah, we didn't grow up rich at all. The only time we got internet is when I started working. Work my tail,
exactly.
work my tail off to get where I am. Been here a very, very, very long time. But no,
10
that
years.
is yeah. Next year we'll talk about that one, but that's not this year. That's next year. No, you bring up a great few points, Rushka, and you have been doing great things in the scene. Namely, I was part of that, and I would like you to tell our viewers a little bit more about the serial review. This is unique, and if I catch any of you stealing her idea, there's going to be a trouble here. But Rushka does this wonderful little thing where she invites streamers to play a horror game or a game of choice. Preferably me was a horror game. I will get her back for that eventually. Vengeance will come on swift wings for those who make me play Devour. But anyway. So tell us more about this little serial review, because that is ingenious.
So I've always wanted to. The plan with streaming was I didn't just want to play games. I wanted to delve into a little bit of everything. And one thing that I've always loved are skits and talk shows. And I kind of wanted to do some talk show style kind of thing, but then, the Rona happened. So I couldn't have people come in and sit next to me and do sort of an Oprah Winfrey, Ricky Lake style talk show thing. I had to sort of improvise or something else. And I was like, you know what, we can do Zoom calls these days, everything, it should be fine. But then as a way to make it interesting, I was like, how am I going to incorporate something talk show style, but also play a game with your guests, but also mess with them? And I was a huge, huge fan of Hot Ones. I don't know if you know Hot Ones.
Yep.
Yeah, celebrities are invited to eat some spicy ass chicken and spices and sauces and whatever, and they can't function. I was like, well, I'm not going to do that because I don't hate myself. What can I do that will possibly be unique each week, that I won't get sick of? And I was like, cereal. I can eat cereal. People love cereal, and also in this country, we don't. There's so much cereal out there, but we don't get any of it here. So perfect way to bring cereal into this would be to import some as well, which can get a bit expensive. But lucky for me, my guests always game for whatever. Yeah, like who wouldn't want to try Lucky Charms if you see it on TV growing up? Reese's and all these other fancy ass cereals that you see the little American kids eating on TV and that. I've always wanted to try that. So here was my excuse and my opportunity to try all of these cereals and do it with people that I enjoy playing games with.
Or enjoy making suffer.
Oh,
No, that
we're
is a
gonna play
genius
Devour.
idea. I will say to everyone listening, Fruit Loops is not a good cereal.
Nope.
It's not. I don't know where people thought that was a good cereal, but it was not.
Again, it looks so fun when you're watching the kids eat it, like in the movies or whatever, and then you try it, and it's like, what is this? What cuck is this? I did not enjoy it. I was very disappointed.
No, thank you. So, right. I actually had a topic now, and then my brain farted. So your favorite games. Let's talk about genre, and then you got to give me a top 5 games, and then we can discuss these.
Yeah.
But before you do that, 2 questions. What game do you feel is overhyped, and what game do you feel is underrated?
Damn. Underrated game. Dying Light.
Really? You think
Actually,
Dying
no,
Light is
no,
underrated?
no. Dying Light. I'm lying. Dying Light was really popular. Eh? You know what? The Division. I feel like The Division wasn't popular enough. There's this dark stone thing you can do in The Division that's very much similar to Hunt and some game modes in Battlefield that I feel like should have been a little bit more successful. I could definitely see more tourneys and comps being done in the Dark Zone, and I think that's what they tried, but they failed. Um, I feel like the Division, didn't get the respect it deserved.
Okay, and then your overrated game.
Overrated game. Damn, that's a tough one. I have no idea. That's such a difficult one because who am I to tell someone the game they're enjoying
This is purely your
overrated,
opinion.
you know?
This is purely your
Oof.
opinion.
Let me think of what's like super popular that I just do not care about. Okay, The Sims. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The Sims. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get cancelled, but I do not care for The Sims.
Really?
I'm sorry. You.
Okay,
put me
but
in a corner.
let's talk about the Division first. I don't 100% agree on the thing with the Division. It was a fine game. I feel like Division 2 just does it much better. I feel like Ubisoft dropped the ball on the Division 1 and came with the content too late for it to matter. And this is the problem that I have with some of the game developers lately, is that they drop the good content too late for the game to matter anymore.
Yeah.
As for The Sims, I can see it. I'm not a huge Sims fan. I just always put in cheats to make my life easy. So I was just like, here's Clappercautious and Rosebud and all that stuff, and boom, I'm a millionaire. Okay, now I can build and play the game how I want to. I'm going to go with a controversial one here. One that I feel is underrated. I'm gonna go with Grounded, because I feel like Grounded is not getting the eyes it needs to see at the moment.
Is that still an incomplete game, though?
That is still an incomplete game. But they've added recent updates that has made this game super amazing to play. And then overrated, I said this on a previous podcast, but The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Ooh.
That game is highly overrated.
You are going to upset a lot of people.
Listen. The modding community is fantastic for that game, right? We've seen Flying Thomas the Tank engines and just so many things, right? But why can't Bethesda make a game, re-release it 7 times on multiple different platforms and not fix their bugs? You see, now we're speaking logic over here.
No, fair enough. If I could add a consolation here, I think also another overrated game is Among Us.
Oh yes, no, heavily. I understand the hype behind it, but you know how angry people get with Among Us, that they think this is an esport.
No, don't lie, really.
No, so we played Among Us, and I was never a huge fan of it because I don't like people yelling and screaming and lying to each other like that over a thing, especially yelling and screaming. Like if you're hardcore trying to convince someone that you're lying or that you're not the killer, I feel like it's too much. So we had this one game. Yeah, we had this one game where someone accidentally spoiled who the other killer was because they were one, and everyone lost their minds. And I was like, guys, way to kill the mood, you know? And then after that, I just never enjoyed Among Us whatsoever. I know there's another one called Duck Duck Goose or Goose Goose Duck. I can't remember now.
Oh yeah.
Which is basically the same thing, but just with ducks.
Yeah.
I don't see the appeal of these things anymore. The game is still pretty popular. I mean, Among Us at time of recording, I'll tell you now what it's got on Twitch. While I'm looking, tell them about something amazing.
I'm not.
Okay,
No,
well,
just, yeah.
almost 1,000 viewers. So I mean, it's not doing that good.
It's finally dying out. If I can compare it to anything, it's Monopoly. You know how super aggressive and competitive people get when playing Monopoly? You like lose friendships over it. That's Among Us.
You would think, okay? But I'll one-up you. Uno.
Uno pisses me the fuck off. I cannot play Uno with people because if I lose, I get so upset. It's so irrational. Like the anger that that game gives me for no reason.
You heard it here, everybody. Don't play Uno with Rushka if you value
Uno
your
is
life.
so chaotic because you don't have to apply any logic to that thing because it really is just like the winner's hand. Like it's a luck of the draw kind of thing. It doesn't matter how logical you are.
No. Then you need to play Uno Flip. So I'm going to tell you a story that made my brother unbelievably upset that he never ever wanted to play Uno again. So we have this Uno mode called Uno Flip. It's a 2-sided Uno deck. Not kidding. This is an actual thing. And in the actual rules, it says when you flip the deck, the plus 5 stack. So we had it where he started with a +5, then someone else put on the +5, then it came to me and I put on a +5, then my wife put on a +5, and then my other brother put down the +5, and the one who originally started the train didn't have another +5. He picked up 25 cards. He quit the game right then and there.
Yeah, I'd walk out there as well. I'm not a toxic person, but I think Uno could bring out toxicity in me, I think, for sure. For sure. I'm actually Googling Uno Flip right now because...
Oh, trust me, it's mayhem. It's absolute mayhem. But then,
oh my goodness.
Rushka, tell us if you had to get stuck somewhere on an island alone and you have a computer, you have internet, and you have food, you're basically fine. What are the 5 games that you take with you for the rest of your existence?
Oof. Would it be cheating if I say like some master collection of Fallout because that's like all of it?
No, you could say the Fallout series. I mean, that technically counts as one game.
Yeah. Because I really, really love Fallout. It's honestly one of my favorite games.
Okay.
And then whatever the latest online shooter game at the time would be when I'm stuck on the island, so that I can
you
interact
have
with
to
people.
pick one. You can't say whatever it is then. That's cheating.
Damn. Yeah, I'd probably pick Hunt Showdown.
Okay.
Because I'd still be able to play with my friends in that, even though I'm stuck alone on the island. And then Pokemon. Love Pokemon. You know, you need to balance out the zombie and horror with something wholesome and sweet like Pokemon or Animal Crossing or whatever. And then Tabletop Simulator for sure. Want to play some card games with like my aunt that's wherever. And that's it. I can't think of anything else.
There's still one more. You got one more slot.
I don't know. Would it be cheating if I open up my Steam library actually?
No, you can pick one there.
Nah, I've got nothing. There hasn't been a lot of games that excite me lately, which is why I'm mostly just do horrors. Stardew Valley.
There we go. I was about to say, as a Stardew Valley connoisseur, all right, as a man who taught people the way of the potato, okay, I wanted to say, if you don't put Stardew Valley on there, I'm deeply, deeply offended as a human being.
You know what game I'd also play over and over again? The BioShock series. That was some good stuff. I really, really enjoyed BioShock. In fact,
would
I think I might actually
BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite. I would skip 2 entirely.
2 was the one with the big sister, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, nah, that wasn't that good.
That was
Still good,
not...
but not as good as the others.
Nah. All right. So, touching on your Fallout knowledge, especially Fallout 4, who did you go for? Fallout 4 has been out forever. Spoiler warning to anyone listening. If you haven't played Fallout 4, you are a good 10 years behind now. Get with the times.
Yeah, toughy if it's a spoiler for you at this point. Like, come on. Like, come on.
All right, who'd you go with?
Like, you mean relationship-wise?
Your first time, who did you romance and which faction did you go with?
The faction I went with was the Brotherhood of Steel, which is so boring, I know. But I really wanted their power armor and stuff. When I played it again, I think I went with the Railroad.
Okay. Okay.
The first one I romanced, I think, was McCready or Piper, one of the two. But I love Piper. I've got like a soft spot in my heart for Piper. But I actually romanced all of them. All of them I romanced. I was such a whore in Fallout 4. I made sure all of them were my boyfriend and girlfriend, like forever.
It's such a shame you
Preston was
can't.
so done with me though. Preston broke up with me because I don't know if you played the DLC, Nuka World.
No.
In the DLC, there's a faction you can join in Nuka World. And there's another dude you can romance over there, but he's basically a gangster. And when Preston finds out, he's like, fuck you, I'm done with you, I hate you. So Preston hates me currently.
Oh dear. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the worst. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a shocking thing here. I played Fallout 4 on stream. I went with the railroad. I went with Piper. I only used power armor once that entire game.
Ooh. What?
I
It
used
wasn't for
it.
you.
I used it in that little beginning area where you got to kill the Deathclaw, and the rest of the time I was running around with this OP pipe pistol, and everyone was yelling at me like, "Why the hell are you still running around with the pipe pistol?" And then I showed them,
Pistol.
and then I shot them. Boom, headshot. They died. The gun works. It does what it's supposed to do.
Fair enough. But why would you run around with a pipe pistol when there's so much fun guns in
Okay,
that game?
listen, I had other weapons and they were on there, but I didn't have enough ammo for like most of the time that I was doing this. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
that
like,
is a thing.
man, this pistol works. I went with like a ridiculous skill setting in pistols that make like headshot damage like 4 times or something like that. So even super mutants with like a little star, boom, headshot, the guy already transforms. I'm like, guys, look, this thing is working. Why are you yelling at me? I got so much hatred for playing with that damn pipe pistol. So I'm like
I would have
tempted to
been one
now.
of those people.
I'm
I would have
tempted
been
to
like,
go
how dare you?
reinstall and play with a different weapon now, just to satisfy that little portion.
Yes, thank you. I am that little portion. That little portion is me. Do you know there's a baseball bat in Fallout 4 that sort of yeets whatever you
Yes,
hit into the yonder?
someone said it's called the home run bat, and if you
Yeah.
hold it and you just hold it right enough, you can whack. Even I believe it even yeets a deathclaw, like ragdolls it clean out of the atmosphere.
I've got a clip actually where I eat the death's claw into the nether.
After this, you need to
Into another game.
you need to send me this. I need to see it.
Will do.
I need to see this.
I'll do just that.
But coming back to centralizing everything, what accomplishment are you truly proud of that you've done in gaming overall? Not coming in with your upbringing, the hurdles you faced. What thing have you done that you are really proud of to this day? And no self-deprecating humor. That has been copyrighted by yours truly.
The Women's Day tournament. That was pretty huge for me. I was having a conversation with, I can't remember if it was Nick from African Gaming League, and no, I think it was Anthony. And I was like, have you ever had a women's only tournament or women's only invitational on the, because I didn't see any in the ACGL website. And at the time, every week I saw a streamer doing some sort of invitational. And it was usually for COD or Apex or whatever. And I never saw a femme streamer invitational ever with ACGL. And I asked them about it, and they're like, no, we've had a few, but it wasn't strictly women's only or whatever. And I was like, understandable. I guess there's no big reason to do only women's event or only men's event. You know, the whole point of gaming is equality or whatever. But for events like Women's Day, you know, that's pretty relevant. And in a world where, you know, women are still facing harassment and discrimination and that, in the gaming space, I think it is important to have these things every now and then. So I told the ACGL team, I was like, why the fuck do we not have a women's only tournament? It's like the year 2022 and we still haven't had anything like this ever. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit pissed off about that because I'm pretty new in this space, and it's like there are so many other women before me, and I'm gonna call them out now. I don't give a fuck. There are so many women before me who are so established and have such a huge community and following. I was almost disappointed that they haven't done anything like this before. So I was like, this needs to be done. It needs to happen now. And it was, to me, it was massive. It was the most massive thing I've ever done. People didn't know the hell I was. They definitely knew my name after that. If I may be cocky for like 5 seconds, that
Yeah.
was definitely the thing that put me on the map, you know?
I think to touch on your point there, not to play devil's advocate, but I think that the reason for that kind of tournament not existing before is there weren't anyone. There wasn't a prevalent uprising of female content creators, specifically female content creators. I mean, I come from YouTube all the way back in 2013 style, and I've seen the evolution of the content creation boom and how many people now actually can come forward and start this content creation journey. And I can tell you from a pure fact on my side, there were only a handful of female streamers and content creators at the time when this was discussed.
Yeah.
And then I think the passion just rode out because people get busy with other projects and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you pioneering for that is just another step closer for equality in our scene, as well as bringing women to the forefront, and especially people of color to the forefront.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy to see, and I'm all for. And if there's a way we can support it, we will. But I think just to give them just a little bit of a break, there wasn't this boom and influx of all these new content creators coming in and doing their thing. And it's great to see this boom of content starting to come forward, especially that, medication, everybody, it cuts your flow of conversation. Don't get sick, kids. Take your vitamin C's and stay in school. Or stay at home.
Recommend.
Would recommend 10 out of 11. But it's great to see that there's this influx. But it's also great to see now that there's this influx, people are taking it by the horns and saying, let's do this. Let's take this influx and put it on a new roadmap. And that is what you did. And as old Uncle RPL, because that's what I'm called, I'm proud of you. So well done.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's what I have to just accept now. So I'm just Uncle RPL in the scene now. Just that.
It's got a nice ring to it, though. I like it. I think on the note of that, Tony, when I knew it was bigger than I could imagine, is when I was getting feedback from people saying, "Wow, I didn't know there were that many women who played Apex. I had no idea." And I was like, "Yeah, we here. You just don't pay attention to us, or we just don't ever get the spotlight ever." So it was nice to see like so many names coming forward and people discovering new of the newer faces or of the older faces who just never got the time of day. I was really happy about that. And one thing that I deliberately did as well when teaming up the streamers and the non-streamers was I made sure that some people got the opportunity to play with a bigger name, because I mean, Fifi was in, Chloe was in, Mama Succubus was in, Amble was in. I wasn't initially supposed to play with Amble. I teamed Amble up with a smaller content creator as well, and that's what I did with Mama and Fifi and Chloe as well. I teamed them up with smaller content creators because I know where I come from, it is extremely hard to network and to get your name out there and to get the older names to warm up to you and get to know you and that. So I just wanted to make sure that the newer content creators got that opportunity to sort of get friendly with the bigger names.
That is awesome. And then any upcoming projects that you can give a little spoiler alert for us?
No, actually, to be honest, just the serial reviews, and just my biggest focus is trying to get back into a consistent schedule again, because that's so hard to do. And then I'm not gonna lie, I would like to potentially get signed again to an org. I think I missed that motivation that an org gives you. So I've been putting out feelers on that, and I have been DMing brands, but you get ignored because of reasons that we've discussed previously. So wish me luck. Fingers crossed for me that I don't. Yeah.
I think I
Don't
might
get
be.
ignored for any
I
longer.
think I might be able to help.
Yeah?
but we'll speak after the cast. This is all left in, by the way. Chat, you just heard this, okay? But I'll speak to Rushka afterwards. But anyway,
I've been shooting my shot, but I've been getting blue ticked by a lot of people. Especially the ones that are so loud on social media about being for the community and for supporting this and that, and then crickets in the DMs. And
I get more crickets in the DMs than a lot of people, so don't worry. I know how you feel.
Really? Okay, that makes me feel better.
I cannot tell you how many brands that I've approached, and they just like, okay, we're not going to work with you. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I've just focused on my product and what I'm doing. And that's what I'm doing now. It's a different take to streaming than what I had wanted to do, because I spent so many years focusing on, improving quality of content, improving the flow of the content, improving the schedule of the content, and trying to approach reputable brands, not to get sponsored for peripherals. I think there's the stigma where people think, oh, you're just after the stuff. Brands need to understand we're not after the stuff. We're after you helping us move our platform up so that we can help you in turn, and that we can reach a broader spectrum of people to help them with their things. It's not about It's not about
getting free stuff. It's not about that.
I don't want the stuff. If you want to sponsor me a freaking the headset, okay, cool. Thank you for the headset. I'll wear the headset. Thank you. But let's work together to reach a wider audience, right? And then when we do that, then we can talk about other things. I'm not here for the free stuff. If you don't want to give me free stuff, that's fine. But let's help each other grow. But, brands don't seem to understand that.
Especially if your brand is community-based and you like doing a lot of things for your community, and that aligning with a brand is very good, because you can, help a lot of people out in that way.
But this is why I'm doing my own thing. I host my own giveaways. I don't approach brands for giveaways anymore. I've been working with Comic-Con and StreamerCon on something that I can't disclose, even to you, because it does involve you as well. But I'm doing my own thing, and I'm no longer worried about approaching brands, because you know what? I'm not going to anymore. I'm not going to approach people that don't want to work with me, because at the end of the day, I sent you a message. If you're going to blue tick me, that means you're not the kind of person I want to work with. If you at least reply and say, hey, listen, not at this moment, then yeah, sure. But have that sense of decency to reply to that person instead of blue ticking them.
Yep.
Don't do that kind of thing. It gives a very bad light to your brand. If any brands are listening, don't do that kind of thing.
Shame on you. If any brands are listening that I've blue ticked, shame on you.
I don't care about blue ticks anymore. I really don't. I am too old and too boomer to worry about blue ticks anymore.
Yeah, I ideally wanted a brand before the Women's Day tournament and even the Crab Game tournament, because again, if you're with a brand, you can be like, hey, I'm hosting a tournament. Is there anything you'd like to sponsor for the event? And it's not even for me, it's for the event. So it's so good to have support from other organizations and that, because it definitely helps when it comes to running these sort of things for the community and that. Because it gets expensive when it's out of your own pocket, right? And this does come out of my own pocket as well. So I was kind of hoping to alleviate that. But like you say, it's sometimes it's just not worth the effort anymore.
No, it's not.
It's not worth the heartache.
All right. We are approaching almost the end of the podcast here. So I need, first of all, before we get to the quickfire questions, 2 questions. What's your most embarrassing gaming moment ever?
Easy. I threw up on stream.
Really?
Yeah, the clip is still there. I just never bothered deleting it. I was like, why not? It was for a good cause. A community member, we were raising funds for a community member to get a PC. He was the only one that didn't have a PC amongst us, but he would always be in the Discord calls and hanging out with us and that. So when we'd be playing COD or whatever, he'd just be there the vibes, and we're like, we got to get this guy a PC. So we did a fundraiser for him, and part of the redemptions were I eat those disgusting beans.
Oh,
Yeah. And at the time I was pregnant, so everything, the taste of everything was a lot more intense. So I think someone donated $50. So for every $50, I needed to eat one of these beans, right? So someone donated $50. And the flavor that sent me over the edge, I'll send you this clip as well, though you probably don't want to see me throwing up. The flavor was canned dog food. I could not handle that.
oh Lord.
There were dirty
Oh,
socks, there was dishwashing water or something, but canned dog food made me hurl on stream, and obviously 10 people clipped it. I
oh,
deleted 9 clips, but kept
I
one.
hate those beans. I had dirty dishwater. Oh my.
Nasty, so nasty.
Oh, I have PTSD from those beans. Oh.
Same.
And then
So yeah.
favorite gaming moment of all time.
Ooh, this was actually recent. I played with my favorite hunt content creator, like ever. I've been watching his YouTube videos for literally 2 years and that. And it's such a big deal when you play a game that you love so much, and there's someone that you admire in that gaming space, and you get to do a collaboration of whatever sort with him. That's so huge, at least to me. So my favorite hunt content creator, his name is Lucan Live, and they call him the Bob Ross of Hunt because he'll be killing everyone in the bayou, but he'll be doing it in the most calming manner ever. It's like his content's the type of stuff you watch before you go to bed if you want to have a relaxing, soothing sleep. He's just that good. So yeah, I got to jam hunt with him, and it was freaking amazing. He was so sweet and kind and amazing. And obviously I fucked it up. I killed myself in the most unique ways possible. It never happens, of course, when you're playing on your own, but as soon as you play with someone you admire, then you shoot a battle and you die to a battle, or you choke yourself or something. But he was so cool about it, and that was definitely, I think, one of my highlighted gaming moments, at least this year. There are probably many, but that one stands out to me right now.
That is so cool to hear. All right.
And then I think I tweeted about it, and then Hunt Showdown actually responded to the tweet. So
That is
it was
so
like a double
cool, man. I'm
Really?
jelly. I wish I could play games with Markiplier.
Oh, that's like Markiplier is like a whole other level.
That's the thing. You gotta shoot for the stars when you do this stuff.
Right? Exactly.
Because I've been doing this a long time. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's like my one wish was to meet the Undertaker. Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Anything is possible.
No, I have learned that yes, anything is possible, but if you don't have the resources or the ways to do it, that possible becomes impossible. But it's fine. I've learned to live without. You know, we learn to live without.
Think we become content in our old age.
It's just one of those things. All right, quick fire questions. So, are you ready for these? Because these are gonna come and they're gonna throw you for a loop. And I'm gonna start off right off the bat. Favorite band?
Fuck.
No, I don't think that band.
Led Zeppelin.
Favorite song?
Stairway to Heaven.
Was that of Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Okay, top 5 songs of all time for you.
Stairway to Heaven, and then everything else goes blank after that.
Come on, you gotta rack your brain.
Shit. Whole Lot of Love, Led Zeppelin.
Don't leave our chat going. So All Out of Love, yeah.
Sade. Oh, when you're cold, I'll be there. By Your Side by Sade. That's such a beautiful song. Probably Everything by Frank Ocean. I love Frank Ocean as well. Confidently Lost, Sabrina Claudio. That's a beautiful song as well.
There we go.
Is that 5?
That's 5. Well done.
Yay.
Well done.
Yeah.
By the way, nice singing voice. Just want to point that out there. Very nice singing voice. All right. Top 5 worst games ever.
shit. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. That was pretty gross. That wasn't a good game.
Wow.
Pico Park, I played that. Among Us, also, that wasn't good. I wouldn't say it's the worst games ever, but this is what is, coming to mind right
That's
now.
fine. It's your opinion.
I'm gonna get absolutely trashed on for this one, but I don't care for Valorant.
Okay.
It's not the worst game, but I don't care for Valorant.
That's fine. One more.
How many have I got? One more.
One more.
I've got. This is so stressful. Like being put on the spot like this. Damn. Help me. Give me something.
Duke Nukem Forever. Come on.
No, come on. That wasn't that bad.
This is going to require podcast part 2.
Wow, really?
Listen. I am a Duke Nukem fan. All right. I played Duke Nukem 3D, and I found Duke Nukem Forever terrible.
Okay. You know what? Fallout 76 was pretty shit.
There you go. And that's coming from a Fallout fan. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my feelings. It was so bad.
And then a last one. Favorite moment of your stream?
Favorite moment of my stream?
All of your streams. Every one of them.
Like in general?
Mm-hmm.
I think, not to get cheesy or anything, but when you start up your stream and you've already got someone there, like to speak to you.
There you go.
I love that. It's so special. And I always, because I'm so inconsistent, I don't have a schedule. I never know if someone's actually going to show up or not. So when someone is there within like the first minute, it means a lot to me and it makes me so happy.
That is beautiful. My heart. All right, everyone. That is our, I was going to say cream pie oven. I've been playing too much Minecraft. That is our pie oven podcast. I need to get sleep. I would like to thank our special guest, RushkaGG, for coming. And now's the part of the stream where you're not allowed to say anything, and I get to compliment you without you giving me grief about it. So listen, everyone.
Oh, no.
Y'all need to go and check out Rushka. She will plug all of her details after I have given a compliment. This lady is just an absolute wonderful human being, a lovely individual to talk to, has helped me through quite a bit of issues that I've had. Great pioneer for what's to come, is going to be a huge success. Whether she agrees with me or not, I don't care. But please go check her out. She's just an absolutely amazing being. And please go follow her on all her socials, starting now.
Everything's RushkaGG. It's just at RushkaGG. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I've got a YouTube as well, but I have not posted anything in a while, but just RushkaGG. That's it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
What? No OnlyFans? I have an OnlyFans. Come on, Rushka, step up.
No. You know what? I might just make one for my feet because like people keep talking about it. I was like, you know what? I like nice things. Cereal's expensive. Let's have a foot OnlyFans. Why not?
Oh no. All right, everyone. You can catch me at RustyPieLover everywhere. TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, YouTube, and Twitch. I actually do have an OnlyFans account. I'm not memeing here.
Okay, no, let me Google this.
It's not anything smutty, okay? Let's all calm down here, all right? It's not anything smutty, chat. It was a one-time thing, okay? Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the podcast, and please leave in the comments how you enjoyed it. Please send all the love to Rushka, and perhaps leave some suggestions for any special guests that we might want to bring on to the podcast. Look out for the next episode 5 of the Pie Oven Podcast. Until then, take care of yourselves, and remember, we're changing the world one smile at a time. Bye-bye, everybody.